Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Great to have you here to close out the week on our Friday review. Yes, we will still be back tomorrow with our Cabral house calls, answering our community's questions. But today, I want to go over a recap of the week, go over what's going on inside of the online practice. Of course, I want to share that with you. I want to go over the podcast recap in case you missed any of the shows this week. So much to do with the digestive system that hopefully you tuned in, plus a case study. Want to go over this brand new WildFlower Granola that I just found out about and was recommended and tried out. Plus, another recommendation from our community. You'll remember hopefully a couple weeks back when I recommended a great book for adults and children on herbalism. A new follow-up kids story that if you have kids, you may love this. Really good, probably from ages like 7 to 13 years old or so, maybe even a little older, but probably somewhere around that age range. I'll share that with you, plus the new little Herb Fairies Club they have as well that, of course, I signed my daughters up for. And we've got 2 research studies. These are pretty brand new. One on a discovery of new obesity-based genes and what that may mean for the future, as well as a study on children, school-age children, and mental health affected by their nutrition. So I want to go over all that today with you and so much more, starting here with a little bit about our podcast for the week. So on Monday, I shared with you I wouldn't say struggle, but yeah, struggles, I guess, is a word that would fit. My struggle with COVID over those 2 weeks. So I shared with you on that Monday show, I had about 3 to 4 days of worse symptoms, bad symptoms of flu-like symptoms. I mean, that's what they were. They were flu-like symptoms, tired, fatigue, exhaustion, low appetite, low-grade fever, joint pain, those types of things. And then over the next week, really overcoming that exhaustion, that fatigue, and finally I'm here again and feeling good. So I shared with you my story, how I went through it, what I dealt with, what it could mean for other people, and simply wanted to share with you my ups and downs over the past 2 weeks. I hadn't been sick until about January of 2020, about 20 months ago or so. And, and this was another challenge that we all have to go through in our life. I went through it. I'm not happy that I went through it. I don't think anybody really is, but I'm glad now, at least I can say it's done. I got it. It's over with. I have the antibodies. My immune system is recovering well. And that's that. So I shared my full story on episode that was 2089, if you want to check that out. On episode 2090 this week, I might as well share with you kind of a little podcast recap since we got there. I went over why fasting reduces bloating and digestive issues for a lot of people. On 2091, we went over bloating and gas symptoms versus food sensitivity symptoms and their big differences, like huge differences. Then we kept the digestive system topic going this week, and yesterday's show was a case study where it was actually a kind of a picture-in-picture, so hopefully you watch it on video, of me going through what someone with leaky gut or intestinal permeability looks like on a food sensitivity test, and it's pretty revealing. So you'll want to check that out. That was episode 2092. Of course, all shows can be found at stephencabral.com/podcasts, including today's episode, which is 2093. And all of the links today will be at stephencabral.com/2093. So I shared with you again, this was kind of, I was kind of going back and forth. Do I share my COVID story with you or not? And of course, I had to share it with you, right? I have to share with you always what's going on with my journey to always improving my overall health and any hardships, any challenges that I go through. And I'm very fortunate. I really am. I'm very grateful that I was able to get my health back many years ago, that I maintain a good level of health, and that I'm always looking to even improve that to the next degree. And I have so much more to share with you in January of this coming year, which is just, believe it or not, like 10 weeks away, 8 weeks away, believe it or not. Today is what, the 30th? Yeah, the 30th or the 29th of October. Hard to believe that we only have November and December to go. But the longevity-based research out there now is pretty phenomenal, and I cannot wait to share with you what we have going on in January 2022. All right, so that is that. That's my update for the week. I'm going to keep it at that. But basically, as I shared with you on that Monday show, I'm back. I'm back to the gym, getting back on my exercise plans, not overdoing it, but I'm making sure that I'm recommitting myself to my goals for these last 8 weeks of the year. I hope that you recommit as well. There's so much we can accomplish over 8 weeks together, so let's get it done. All right, the amazing promotion this week over at EquiLife is free CBD gummies. If you have never tried our watermelon new CBD gummies, I would absolutely recommend getting your hands on at least one bottle. All of our products right now are at equilibriumcbd.com, but we're hoping, we're literally always hopeful. We're one of the most hopeful organizations out there that we will soon be able to offer all of our CBD products on the equi.life website. Just not yet. Not yet. We have to overcome a few what do they call it? Shopping cart based issues and legalities there. We're trying to overcome it. I know it would make it a lot easier for a lot of people, but right now you can still find those products at equilibriumcbd.com. But we are giving away our free CBD gummies, easily one of our most popular products. I typically take 2 to 4 at a time. They're 10 milligrams. Most adults are going to need about 2 to 4. And they're absolutely delicious tasting. Of course, they're made without any artificial dyes, any artificial sweeteners. They are the only CBD gummy, to my knowledge, and you can check around, they are literally the only CBD gummy that does not contain artificial flavors or artificial colors. We worked really hard to make these, and not only are they delicious, but of course they're efficacious. They actually work. So all the CBD products are at equilibriumcbd.com, but to get your free bottle of CBD gummies on all qualifying orders, head on over to equi.life or just my short link, stevencabral.com/EquiLife. I don't know if that's any shorter or not, but sometimes it's easier for people who don't yet get the .life, right? Because there's a new suffix for some websites. So you can go to stevencabral.com/EquiLife. All right. We did our podcast recap of the week already. So I want to go over, I love when you, our community, sends me things to review and try. So that is exactly what this week is all about. So I've got this, you can hear it here if you're not watching this on video. If you aren't watching on video, we would love for you to head over to YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, or just watch it over on the Stephen Cabral website. This company is called WildFlower Granola, and it is made in small batches with organic ingredients. This one is maple pecan, 2 of my favorite flavors right there, no doubt about it, maple pecan. I don't eat a lot of granola, to be honest with you, and I don't eat any cereal in the morning. But if you were someone who ate cereal in the morning and you wanted a healthier option for granola, you could certainly use this. And let me share with you why. 1/4 cup of granola is 130 calories, 5 grams of fat, 2 grams of saturated fat, 0 trans fats. It is total carbohydrates of 18, total fiber of 2, total sugars of 4, total grams of protein 4. So a really nice, well-rounded overall granola. And the reason why I like this one and I wanted to bring it to you is because here's the ingredients: organic rolled oats, organic pure maple syrup, pecans, butter, organic sugar, and organic filtered water. And I have an email into the company to see if it's grass-fed butter or not. So if you look at this, and we know that it's not a lot of butter, and the reason is that there's only 2 grams of saturated fat, and that's coming from the butter. The rest is coming from the oats, I should say pecans, where the fat would be coming from. So when we look at this overall, these are clean ingredients. My two favorite sweeteners are, shouldn't say organic, are wildflower honey or manuka honey, and then organic maple syrup, because both of those have the natural minerals inside of the actual sweetener themselves. So you're getting a sweetener with the actual minerals in them. Now, honey is really hard to cook with. It's really hard to use. It doesn't mix well. So most people don't use a wildflower honey. Wildflower honey also affects some people with allergies to a greater degree. You can actually build up at small amounts. I talked about that on a separate show. Manuka honey, phenomenal as well for overall health. But it can also, in the beginning stages, feed yeast and bacteria. So we typically eliminate it for 21 days on our CBO protocol anyway. Maple syrup is one that most people can use that doesn't cause the bloating, the gas, the other issues along with that. So anyway, it's one of my favorite sweeteners. There's no doubt about it. And if you're someone that's looking for 0 calories, 0 sugar sweetener, stevia is another one that we typically use and recommend as well. A lot of people go back and forth on stevia. The research on it's pretty clear. I mean, it is not one that's going to artificially spike blood sugar. It's not one that's going to mess with the nervous system, and it actually may have some good gut benefits as well. So anyway, I'm going to keep it at that. This is delicious. So how does my family use this then if we don't eat cereal? Well, we do make acai bowls, and this makes a great topping for an acai bowl, or my favorite is a pitaya bowl. Pitaya is just dragon fruit, and you can use that instead of a frozen acai packet. You can put in your vanilla daily nutritional support or your chocolate daily nutritional support. Throw in some nut butter if you'd like. Put on your favorite toppings. We slice banana. We put some blueberries on there. Slice some kiwi. Put some raspberries on. It's absolutely delicious. You could do some coconut flakes, but you want a little crunch with that, and this provides that crunch. So again, you can just put on 1/4 of a cup if you'd like, and this makes a nice little topping. All right. I have no idea where we would find this company, but we will link it up today at StephenCabral.com/2093, and I will link up WildFlower Granola. All right. And again, I would love to hear your favorite clean granola as well in the comments here today. So feel free to leave them on YouTube or right on Instagram as well. All right, so here is the new book series that was recommended to me when a few weeks back I recommended a book. Let's see if I can find it. I believe it's on episode 2072. Let's take a look. Let's just head on over to StephenCabral.com/2072. And let's see if that was the actual show. This was one that I picked up that was on herbs and great for my daughter who loves gardening or loves herbs as well. This one was called A Kid's Herbs Book for Children of All Ages. And I actually said that, meaning like it's a great book for adults as well. So if you want to learn a little bit about herbalism and herbs to use, when to use them, the right indications, a fantastic book. And it's definitely for adults as well. But it's a fun illustrated book. That one was on episode 2072. And why don't I link that up today too? I'll link that up on episode 2093. And that's a great book. But after I posted that on Instagram, and I wish I could recommend their name and give them credit. I get hundreds of direct messages a day. But thank you, whoever recommended this. It's called Herb Fairies. This is book 1 called Stellaria, Big Find. And each one of these books, you can see that it's beautifully illustrated and easy to read. And it takes children on a journey through meeting with these herb fairies who teach them about certain herbs and when to use them for what conditions. And then there's a 13 set book. So I wanted to get book 1. And book 1 is about chickweed, and they talk about that in terms of cuts and scrapes. And then there's actually a series, as I said, 13 books that takes kids on a little bit of a journey. So it's actually all the books kind of go together, but they teach a different herb in every single book. So yes, I read the book because I wanted to make sure that it was appropriate for my daughter before I purchased the whole series. She loved it. I said, hey, if you like it, we will get the other books. But like any good, I guess, any good a book, they have a journal that goes along with it. They have coloring pages that you can print out, a lot of recipes, a lot of fun things that you can do that are also interactive. So she has her book set coming, her journal coming, and she's going to be able to write down all the different herbs from every book, the uses for them. And it'll be a fun little project that essentially she is initiating. So both my daughters will use it for sure. My youngest daughter is just a bit more into it. That's all. All right. I will link up Herb Fairies before. And believe it or not, which I didn't know when I got this book, I've been using the game with my daughters for years now, probably just 2 years, not years, called Wildcraft. And Wildcraft is a really fun board game if you're looking for a board game for young kids. And what it does is it goes over a particular condition. It's a card game. And what herbs would be best for that particular condition, such as sore muscles or hunger or fever. So it's a fun game. It's called Wildcraft. I'll link that up here as well. We have that up in Maine, and we love playing that as well. So I'll link that up today at stephencabral.com/2093. All right, we are on to our research for the day. 2 new studies that I said I would bring you. The first one on new obesity genes discovered. All right, let me just read you this. It literally came out 28 days ago, so brand new research. And scientists discover 14 genes that cause obesity. Findings could decouple overeating from harmful health effects. All right, so why does this matter? Well, over 2/3 of people are overweight in the United States alone, and about 40% of those people are obese. This actually is a bigger problem than people want to talk about. People don't want to talk about obesity and being overweight because they don't want to offend anyone, which I understand that, and we don't need to offend anyone, and no one should be offended. I look at being overweight as an imbalance of the body. That's it. Like we're not going to make fun of anyone or put anyone down because they have an autoimmune issue, right? I hope nobody would have done that to me when I had Addison's disease and insomnia and allergies and all these debilitating issues. And I look at overweight's an imbalance of the body, right? Just like autoimmunity, just like bloating, just like digestive issues, just like migraines, just like anything. So what we want to do is understand that there's not one perfect body type, but there's healthy, right? So every body type should be healthy. Now, here's the thing. We've already known this in Ayurveda, right? For 6,000 years. I haven't been around for 6,000 years, but Ayurveda has known that there is a certain body type genetically that's more prone to being overweight. It's called the Kapha body type, right? So we've already known this. It's great that the University of Virginia and other places are doing these findings on this, but it shows that people that have these genes, right, this genotype, this dosha, this endomorph, this Kapha body type, are more susceptible when they are given high-calorie diets with excess sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and a sedentary lifestyle, which means that those foods and this lifestyle sets off these genes. Now, of course, what conventional medicine hopes to do is find a drug to block these genes, which would then allow people to eat the SAD, right, the standard American diet, and not put on the weight. We don't want that. I mean, yes, like we want to be able to help all individuals. And of course, if we want to do that, we can do that. But what we need to teach is that it's not even okay for companies to begin to media produce, meaning like manufacture and then get the media behind them for eating like Fruity Pebbles and sugary based, cereals and sandwiches and all these things. They're not healthy foods. So you may not gain weight, but you're still gonna have the cardiovascular issues, still gonna have the high blood pressure, still gonna have type 2 diabetes, still gonna end up with Alzheimer's disease, right? So it's not my favorite way to look at it, but I'm glad that there will be more study, there will be more talk about this. And again, it's not about one best body type. It's about being at the right weight for your body. And you can do that naturally. You really can. And but it's also about accepting and understanding that some bodies are more prone to putting on weight and some bodies are more prone to losing weight. We have to be a little bit more gentle with our view of our fellow human and be a little kinder and understand that we all have different bodies. And that's actually not only to be respected, but to be celebrated, but it should be at the healthiest position and balance for each one of those bodies. So I'll link up that research for you if you want to go a little bit deeper. And the second research study this was done exactly 30 days ago. And this was out of the University of East Anglia, which I've never heard of before. University of East Anglia. Let me just see where this is located out of. This is not, I'm going to look up that university, but it was published in the BMJ Nutrition Journal of Prevention and Health, which is obviously a larger journal. So that's great to see. Okay. And this was done on 9,000 children in 50 schools. So a pretty wide and varying study, which was great. And what they found was that they found actually three groups of children, really. One that just ate a normal breakfast and a normal lunch, whatever normal would be, cereal, toast, etc. And normal lunch, which might be a sandwich or something like that. Then they found groups of children that didn't eat breakfast or lunch inside of a school setting. And then they had those children that ate more fruits and vegetables at both breakfast and lunch. What they found was this: kids that drank energy drinks, I forgot to mention that. Kids that drank energy drinks did the worst, meaning their mental health and mood and cognitive ability was the lowest. They crashed. It was similar to those children that didn't eat breakfast and or lunch, okay? Both did really well in terms of mood, cognitive performance, schoolwork, mental health. Children that ate any type of breakfast and lunch did considerably better. Those that did the best had some type of fruit and or vegetable at breakfast and lunch. This may not shock our audience, but for the majority of people out there, it really would. And honestly, I don't want to make things more difficult for parents than they already are. I know things are challenging, but putting some carrots and celery and some hummus in a lunch, cutting up an apple first thing in the morning and splitting it between two kids in your household or so. These are things that, maybe some blueberries. These are things that we're able to do, making a smoothie that we can just kind of shift in. So even if your child loves toast or whatever it might be in the morning, well, just cut up an apple along with it, right? Or just make a little bit of a smoothie along with it. And whatever they love at lunch, okay, maybe cut up some veggies and some hummus in there or whatever works for your child. But it's just another way to get some colorful, antioxidant-packed fruits and veggies into your child's diet. So hopefully this was helpful. I will link all of this up again today at stephencabral.com/2093. I hope you've been having a great week. I will talk with you tomorrow. I will be back for our Cabral House Calls. Of course, if this show is helpful, please do feel free to pass it along to anybody else you believe it could serve. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. And before you go, I want to make sure that you know about the amazing giveaway over at EquiLife. EquiLife is our virtual functional medicine practice where we help people all over the world. And we've been doing so since about 2017 when I began to slowly move my Boston-based practices online virtually so we can help more people through the power of the internet. So one of the things that we like to do on a weekly basis, as much as we can, we like to share with people a lot of our favorite products. And one of those products that the community has absolutely been loving are our new CBD gummies. These are 10 milligrams per gummy, and they're the only gummies that I know of, literally anywhere, that do not have any artificial colors, which means no artificial dyes, no paints in them, anything like that, and they have no artificial flavors. So they are the cleanest CBD gummy on the market, and they deliver 10 milligrams per gummy. Most adults will have 4 gummies at one time, And although you'll want to work with your health practitioner, if you have a child using cannabinoids as part of their protocol, they, of course, could start with a half or one, and that is up to you, of course, as a parent. But we are giving away our watermelon-flavored CBD gummies right now on all qualifying orders over at EquiLife. Of course, I think you should take advantage of this. It's an amazing product, and it's absolutely free. So it's a great price. I believe they are it's a $49 value. Yours completely free. Head on over to stevencabral.com/EquiLife, and you will be able to see this offer while supplies last. Again, it's stevencabral.com/EquiLife, and EquiLife is EquiLife. Take care.